Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of Man-Gust, Volume 3. This time we're talking about the number 2 manga/manhwa that I believe deserves an anime adaptation. Now before I tell the title, let me set the stage. It is an isekai. It is an isekai, but unlike any other isekai, this is for men my age, men in their 30s, like me, men in their early 30s. This is our isekai. This is our isekai. Because so imagine you get reborn. You have all your memories of being a 30-something-year-old guy. You're reborn, and you make friends. You make friends. There's a guy and 3 girls. You make friends with all four. You make friends with all 4 of them, and then the 5 of you go off and become adventurers when you become teenagers. When you're 13, you go off and you become adventurers at 13. 5 years later, you're 5 years later, you are kicked out of the you are then kicked out of the party by your one male friend because he wants all the girls to himself. And what do you do? What do you do? Seek revenge? No. Form your own party with a bunch of other girls probably around the same age as you? No. Instead, you go and decide to make wives out of your 40 party members' mothers. That is what our main character does. This is, the hero took everything from me, so I partied with the hero's mother. Partied as in, like, forming a party, not having a party. Although, I mean, he kind of does too. But our main character, he doesn't really have any money to head back to his home village. So he needs to do a few more jobs, but he can't exactly do it on his own. He needs someone to watch his back. So he goes. He's wandering around, and he's approached by a slave merchant. He's approached by a slave merchant. He's like, you know what? Sure, whatever. And so he goes in just to check. He's not really sure if he's going to buy one. And then he sees his best friend's mother is in there. His best friend's mother is one of the slaves being sold. And he had the biggest crush on her when he was little. 'Cause, well, she was a MILF. And that's what he's into. He's into MILFs. He's not interested in girls his age, because technically, since he still has memories of his time as a 30-something-year-old man, he's like, yeah, these are babies. These are babies. It's like, I don't want them. I don't want them. The MILFs? Heck yeah, give me the MILFs. I want those. Yeah. Girls my age. MILFs. So, and yes, you can take screenshots. You can take those screenshots. Anyway, so So he ends up buying her and frees her, so she's not and frees her so she's not a slave, and then asks her to marry him. She becomes his wife, and then the two of them work together on a couple missions. The two of them work together on a couple missions, and then once they have enough money, they head back to the hometown. And we find out that the reason why she was in the slave market in the first place is because his best friend's father sold her. Yeah, she had a abusive husband, who sold her into slavery. And when they get back to their hometown, they find out that the best friend's father got into debt and was arrested and taken to the mines to spend however long it takes for him to work off his debt. Either that or die before he works it off, whichever one comes first. He ends up finding out that she's not the only one who is in a loveless marriage. The other three guys who are the fathers of the three girls that he partied with are also horrible husbands to their wives. They're all terrible, and so one by one, he ends up convincing them to divorce their husbands and marry him instead. And he ends up marrying the four mothers of the four people who betrayed him. And then, on top of that, the four mothers, back when they were around the same age as him and all his friends, back when they were around their age, they used to be S-class adventurers, and they had to retire because at age 20 you are expected to already have a kid. A woman is expected to already have a kid in this world by age 20, and by age 30 she's considered an old hag and deemed undesirable. And so basically the four wives make a pact saying, hey, we're gonna make the main character stronger. We're gonna make him stronger, and then the five of us are gonna go on a journey and defeat the demon lord before the hero can. The hero being the best friend, the one who betrayed the main character. Meanwhile, his former party are finally realizing all the shit that he went through for them. He did all of the busy work, from filing out all the paper, signing and filing out all the papers that they had to do as adventurers, to all of the cooking, all of the cleaning, all of the laundry, all the carrying of the belongings, all the resource gathering, all the reconnaissance, so they know what they're walking into. He carried the team. He wasn't the one fighting on the front lines. He wasn't the one fighting on the front lines. The other four did that, but literally fighting is all the four of them are good for. He literally did everything else. Fighting and fighting and healing. They got a healer. But yeah, like, fighting and magic is all they're good for. He's literally the one who did everything else. And without him, they're living like pigs. They're like, at one, no joke, at one point when we see them, their room looks like a pigsty. They are filthy. They are filthy. They are stinky. They all barely have any clothes on because all of their clothes reek. All of their clothes reek. All their clothes are filthy and reek, and they reek, and they are just flat broke, and they can't do anything. They don't know how to do anything. They don't know how to do anything. And oh boy, the actual when he does decide that he does want to give a little bit of a revenge, oh, the revenge he comes up with is just mwah, chef's kiss. It is perfection. It is perfect down to the last minute microscopic detail. So, it is a wonderful series. Absolutely love it. There are some not safe for work scenes. Between the main character and the MILFs. Basically, each one of the MILFs has at least one not safe for work scene. So, yeah, this series knows what you're there for. They know what you come to read for. They know you're there for the MILFs and to see them in compromising positions. And so they're like, yeah, you know what? Here you go. Here's the main character plowing the MILFs. And yeah, it is very entertaining. It is a very entertaining and fun and funny and wonderful series. I absolutely adore this series. And it would be number one, and it is technically the number one manga that I think deserves an anime adaptation. But it is not number one on this list. Number one on this list is a manhwa, not a manga. So if we're going by just pure mangas, then this is number one. But for the sake of this video, this is number two. Number one has quickly become one of my favorite stories of all time, and I am so excited to talk about it with all of you. So that's going to be in the next video. So that's all I got for this. The series is still going. New chapter gets released every month. A new chapter gets released every month. There currently is not enough manga for an anime adaptation. I believe there's like 19 chapters, I think. Yeah, a new chapter gets released every month. So if this were to get an anime adaptation, given how long the chapters are, it would have to be, there would have to be a good 24 to 26 chapters before an anime adaptation could be made. So it's gonna be another 7 or 8. It's gonna be another 7 to 8 months before there's enough content for an anime adaptation. But I guarantee not only is it an isekai, but it's something that we haven't actually seen before in an isekai. And if it's an isekai, it's getting an anime adaptation. Let's be real. Like, every single isekai under the sun is getting an anime adaptation in some capacity. So I'm certain that this will get one as well. But in any case, that's all I got for this one. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.